Good morning and greetings on this fine Thursday, September the 9. And we had services last night, our last elective classes of the year of the summertime, and so we kind of are going to get back into a regular schedule here in about 2 weeks here. So we've got missions conference beginning this weekend. So kind of a busy weekend, busy week. Monday to Thursday, we've got services at 6 o'clock next week. And so please, I would encourage you all to be there for that. That'll be a wonderful time and to get to meet some missionaries as well. So please keep that in mind. And then kind of a big weekend. This weekend marks the 20th anniversary of the attack in 9/11, the attack upon our country by a terrorist organization. And we pause and remember this weekend those that lost their lives on that terrible day. And the question's often asked, where were you? And I remember exactly where I was when I first heard of those terror attacks. And this weekend marks the 20th anniversary. Then also, as we have seen in recent days, just the trouble in Afghanistan brought upon by those terrorists, the Taliban there, the same people who attacked our country 20 years ago, and to see what's going on there, it saddens my heart to see the lives that are continuing to be lost because of that terrorist organization. And so on this weekend, we think of the families that lost loved ones 20 years ago. We think of the wives that lost their husbands, the husbands that lost their wives, the kids that lost their parents, and so on. And we remember them, but also let's remember those who brought the fight to the Taliban over the last 20 years. And let's pray for those families that lost loved ones. Let's continue to pray for our military who is in harm's way throughout the world. And as we remember those terrible events of that day. But that being said, let me say this. I believe firmly that the United States is still the greatest country on the face of the earth, where we still have freedom to live our lives. And so be thankful for that as well. And those that continue to fight for our country. All right, let's look. Psalm 139 here this morning. Let me just say this. Those of you who may be watching and those who have served, thank you so much for your service for our country as well. Psalm 139. Well, I believe we're going to finish this out this morning. Psalm 139. We've seen over the last several days throughout the psalm, we've seen God's omniscience. We've seen God's omnipresence and even alluded to his omnipotence, meaning that he's all powerful. We know that he's all knowing and everywhere present. And what a great psalm this has been as a reminder for that. As we close out the psalm, we kind of just get a glimpse of what our response should be to the fact that God is omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent. And we'll get a glimpse into that just briefly here this morning as we look at the latter part of this psalm, Psalm 139. So join me if you would at verse number 19. Verse number 19 tells us this. It says, "Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. For they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies." And so we see the first response to those that would live their lives contrary to the Lord, that would be involved in sin, those that would be the enemy of God. And we see the response of the psalmist here. It says, "Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? And am not I grieved against those that rise up against thee?" And then verse 22 kind of clarifies that hatred. We said, wow, hating people, that's kind of harsh. He says, "I hate them with a perfect hate," or a complete hate. And it's not necessarily the individual that we hate. It's the actions of the individual that we would hate. We don't hate sinners, we hate the sin. And God hates sin as well. And we see this response of the psalmist to God and to his omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence, that we hate sin, the deeds of those that are the enemy of God. And then also, verse number 23, we have another response. He says, knowing that God is omniscient, knowing that he's omnipresent, knowing that he's omnipotent, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. God, I know you're omniscient. God, you know my thoughts. God, are my thoughts honoring and glorifying to you? That could be the question that is posed. Say, he says, search me. God, search my thoughts. Search the intents of my heart, my motivations. God, search me. You know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And then speaking to his omniscience, his omnipresence, he says, see if there be, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. See if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. God, you know my thoughts. You know where I go. God, lead me. God, you're the one that has the power to guide and direct in my life. God, you have the power to give me what I need to succeed in this life. God, I'm trusting you. God, lead me. And it's really this is an act of submission here to the Lord. You see, too often as Christians, we choose to fight God rather than submit to him. We fight him every step of the way. God, you can't be speaking to me. God, I can't do that. God, I can't follow you in this way. God, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. And we live a life, the Christian life of I can't, when it should be, God, not my will, but thine be done. God, you lead me. I'm going to follow where you lead. Let me tell you something. When I was late teens and preparing to go off to college, I'd had no clue what God wanted me to do. In fact, in that time of my life, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure I even really wanted to do what God wanted me to do, and I was just kind of aimless, if you will, as I ended my high school years, was entering college years. I really didn't know what to do with my life, and I know that there were those in my life who said, Phil, you should teach. You seem to have the gift of teaching. You should do that. I said, oh, no way, I'm not doing that. And then there were some who said, Phil, I think God has gifted you, and you should look at going into the ministry. And I said, no way, can't do that. Well, I went off to college, and through the preaching that I heard in chapels every day, and taking some Bible classes and taking some of my general college courses, God began to work in my heart. And it was a struggle still. Like, God, I don't know. I don't know. And I was really fighting it. I knew what God wanted me to do, but I was fighting it. And I remember after my freshman year of college, I remember I was out in our backyard there talking with my dad a little bit. We were doing some work, and I said, you know something, Dad? I'm thinking about, going all in for the Lord. And my dad kind of said this. He said, oh, what do you mean you're thinking about it? Just do it. You should go all in for the Lord. And I finally said, God, whatever you want from me in my life, I'll do. I had made that commitment before in my life, but sometimes when the rubber meets the road and when it's go time and God is working, it can be hard to listen. And as we consider and to follow, we consider the end of this passage here, verse number 24. He says, lead me in the way everlasting. The question for us is, are we willing for God to lead us? Now, God doesn't call everybody into full-time ministry. God doesn't call everybody to the pastorate, but he does call all of us to serve him in some capacity. And we need to be willing to just follow God's leading. And wherever it is, be willing to follow. Search me, O God, know my heart. Try me, know my thoughts, see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Cliff and Karen, I love that song. Search me, O God. What an awesome song that is. And what a prayer for the life of a Christian, and from the heart of a Christian, for God for an individual to say, God, search me. God, try me. Try me to see if my motivations are real. Know me. See if there be any wicked way in me. God, I want you to lead me. What a prayer for us each day, for God to say, God, lead me. And what a wonderful, wonderful end to this passage. What is our response to knowing who God is? Search me, God. Know me, try me, lead me. See if there be any wicked way in me. And what a powerful end there. And hope it was a blessing to you. And hopefully it was thought-provoking as you consider your life and consider your response to God and his word. All right, let me give a few shout-outs here. Wow, we went a little longer today. Good morning. Once again, Cliff and Karen, good morning. Good to see you on today. Jody, good morning to you. Hope things are a little bit warmer for you in Montana. It's been chilly here the last several mornings. Good morning, Ingrid. And she's just down the hall here. And she's got the kids doing school. And yes, Cliff and Karen, look forward to missions conference. It's going to be great to rub shoulders with some of God's finest, I believe. Individuals that have committed their lives to the Lord, and look forward to that and catching their burden for their mission field. Look forward to that. And Ingrid was in Greek class in 11th grade when 9/11 happened or began happening. And I had just gotten out of a class and had gone back to my room at college and heard a voice message from my mom telling me what had gone on and how scary and just horrible. And but continue to pray for those that serve our great country. And Cliff and Karen, Search Me, O God. Love that song. Brian and Cindy, have a blessed day today. Mandy, thanks for being on this morning and watching live. Lee and Angie, good morning to you. And I echo that sentiment, thankful for God's leading and also the comfort along the way. Life can get discouraging at times. And I think I missed somebody. Jody, one last comment there. Love that song, Here My Lord, Send Me. Being willing to just follow and say, God, here are the reins of my life. Go for it. And love that song, Here My Lord, Send Me. Our teenagers are going to be singing that song this Sunday morning, and so look forward to that. All right, Lord bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Be sure to like, share, comment. And then also, those of you watching later on in the day, not watching it live, but watching the recording, be sure to like and share as well. Comment. Love to read your comments throughout the day as well. Good morning, Stephanie. Thank you for being on. Lord bless you all. Have a wonderful day. And Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow.